Hi, welcome back to my channel, Fabulously Frugal and Fancy. I'm Brandy. Today we are doing some Easter DIYs. I made these two different DIYs and I want to show them to you. Please forgive my voice. I've been battling a cold and getting over it, so hopefully I don't sound too bad. Alright, I start out with these wooden pieces. One of these was broken. I got them last year at the end of the season. This plastic tray from Dollar Tree. Some crystal Waverly chalk paint. And I just paint this entire tray with the Waverly paint. It's crystal. It's kind of a very light blue color. And I do give it 2 good coats. It's pretty reflective, but it is just plastic. So I finished that off. And then I go in on this wooden piece. I got these from Hobby Lobby last year at the end of the season. They were very, very cheap. One was actually broken, and that's okay because I don't use the full piece. I'll show you that on the next DIY. And I'm using some, these are the metallic paints from Arteza, and these are, I use just a light green for the leaves. And I just go, you know, I've got this sped up, but I just kind of take my time. I don't want to get it all over the sides or the edges. I just want to get it on the front. So I just paint the leaves green. I paint the flowers pink. I'm just doing some pretty spring colors here for this. And the wooden cutout, if you can't read it, if you can't tell what it says, because when I hold it up it looks a little off. It says he is risen. And so I wanted to make something with these. When I saw them on clearance, I really liked them. I liked the look of them. Even though one was broken, one of the flower, the little wreath part was broken off, a piece of it. And that's okay, I just take the whole thing off because they were so inexpensive. I wanted to thank you guys real quick. I've made it over 500 subscribers, and I appreciate all of you for joining and subscribing to my channel. It really does help. I'm trying to get to 1,000 to get my channel monetized. So if you have not subscribed, please just go down below and hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. Leave me a comment on the video. Letting me know. I want to know what is the best day for you guys? What do you normally watch YouTube? I haven't picked an actual day for me to upload videos yet. It's been kind of random at this point. I try to do one a week. I'm behind right now because I have been sick, but I do want to pick one day at a time that is like my normal time to upload. So if you have a preference for that, what days do you watch? Just let me know so that I have a better idea of when is a good time to upload my videos for you. I did not intend to leave in this much of the painting process. I apologize for that. I thought I cut a whole bunch of it out, and I did cut out some of it, but evidently I wanted you to see all of the leaves. Me painting all of the leaves that light green, and again it's kind of a metallic paint, so it kind of has like a, I don't know, it's kind of like a pearlized look to it, which I just think is pretty. I like anything that shimmers and shines, so I try to, you know, I got all of these paints for Christmas. My boyfriend got them for me for Christmas, and I really like the metallics, just the different colors and the way that they kind of have a little bit of a shimmer. I don't like really flat paints. I used flat on the background, but I wanted the front to kind of pop a little bit. I did make this one for my sister, and I gave it to her already, and they really loved how it turned out. Sorry, my throat is really dry right now, so like I said, just getting over these allergies, this cold, It's like our whole household has been sick for the last few weeks, so it's been a struggle to get anything done. Just haven't had much energy with this going around. All right, so I paint all of the leaves on this one green. Again, I'm sorry, I did do 2 coats of that and I left in way too much of this. But again, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. I also have a Facebook page. It's just the same name, Fabulously Frugal and Fancy. I am on Instagram. I'm on Pinterest. I don't do much on the other platforms as yet. I'm just trying to get more into using all the social media apps. And I just am not on that often to do that. All right, and then I take a light pink and I paint the flowers. Just a light pink. Again, it's the metallic paint, so it does have kind of a shimmer to it, which I like. I think it turned out really pretty. In the end, you can see all the painting that I did, and I apologize again for leaving all of this painting in there. I really honestly thought I cut out a whole bunch of it, but I guess I did not. These little wooden cutouts you can get from, I see them most often at like Hobby Lobby and stuff. They are pretty delicate and they will break pretty easily, which, you know, I mean, just on its own is bad. But if you're using it to put on something, I think these are great. And, you know, like I said, if you do want to cut piece of it off, it's not too hard. I show you that a little bit later because I cut the other one. I cut the entire wreath off and just use the words "He has risen" for the wreath that I made for my mom. And I use 2 coats just because I want the color to really, I don't want it to be see-through at all. And then I use on the letters, I use a paint pen. And I did purple, I believe, on those. Purple is the color of royalty. And, you know, Jesus is the king, and so I wanted to I don't do a lot of Easter decor. I'm not into like the bunnies. I like bunnies for spring, but I do more of the Christ-oriented Easter decor because to me that's what Easter is all about. And so I use a purple. I use Sharpie paint pens. I find that I really love how the Sharpie paint pens work. You can get them in all different colors. And I just go over all the lettering, all the words. The "He is risen" and the is kind of on like a little banner there in the middle. And I believe I paint that gold, I believe. Don't quote me on that just yet. I'm hoping that I did not leave in me painting all of these letters. But if you just take your time and you just go over the letters, I find that with a pen, with the paint markers, it's a lot easier to control. It's a lot easier to not mess up and not make a mess on these delicate little pieces. They are pretty delicate. They are, you know, it would be hard to do with a brush with the wording, I think. The leaves and the flowers are a little bit thicker, but the lettering on the words is just okay. Here's it fully painted. I did do some gold there in the banner part. And this tray, again, is just that metallic tray from Dollar Tree. And I just used some wood glue. I didn't want to use hot glue because I was afraid it wouldn't stick too well to the plastic, because this is just a plastic tray. And the wood glue held very well. It didn't come apart, even through traveling, because I did travel to my sister's, my mom's, to take these to them. I live about 2.5 hours away from them, which is not that far. I don't get out there as often as I would like to see them, but I do get out quite often, and I just kind of dab it around in different spots. I didn't want the glue to ooze out Even though this wood glue, I use the Gorilla wood glue, and I really like it. Like, I have not had a problem with it holding at all. And I just put that right in the center, and I just set some of the paint on top of it and the glue just to kind of hold it down so it doesn't bow at all and that every piece sticks to it. And then I just let that dry, and I took this ribbon that I got last year. I believe I got that at either Dollar Tree or Walmart after Easter. I buy a lot of my things at the end of each season for the next year. And I just do this method where I do a loop, and I do a couple of loops, I believe. And I just kind of glue the ends together, loop them together, and I cut off a piece for the tail as well. Now this is a wired ribbon, and so you can kind of manipulate it how you want it to go, which is why I like to use wired ribbon. I dovetail the ends there, and then I use some smaller ribbon just to kind of tie the middle together. I'm still working on my camera angles. Oh no, I use a zip tie for these because I wanted them to stay really well there in the middle. I didn't even glue my ends together. I just kind of placed it all together. Oh, no, I do glue them together. I'm sorry. Having a hard time remembering. Like I said, I've been sick for like the last 2 weeks, and I actually did these DIYs a few weeks ago, and I'm just now getting to get to the voiceover and getting it posted. I apologize for that. Sometimes it's just, you can't help it when you get sick. You just have to take your time and get better. So I just use a zip tie there, fluff it up a little bit, and then I take a scrap piece of that ribbon, just a tiny little piece, and I just fold it in thirds to make a little loop, wrap it around, and glue it to the back. And then I just glue that directly to the top, and that is it for this DIY. This is done. I did not put a hanger on the back. You could easily and hang it on a wall. You could use command strips and hang it on the wall. You wouldn't even need to put a hanger on the back. It's very lightweight because it is a plastic tray. And I wanted those ribbons to kind of have that ripple effect going down the side, so I just tack it down with a little bit of hot glue in different spots, just to have the ribbon stay where I wanted it to stay. And that is it for this DIY. I really like how this turned out. Let me know what you think in the description box below. Oh, I painted the little cross gold too. Just added a little hot glue there. All right, here's the finished project. Sorry. The pink and the green, and then the purple writing. And I think with the blue in the background and that ribbon, it just all matches so well. And I really like how this turned out. He is risen, the true meaning of Easter. All right, so I take, I have this Dollar Tree cross wreath. I've had it for a while. I picked it up. See, this one is broken, but I still want to use it. I really like the wording, so I just use the wording. And I have this burlap ribbon from Dollar Tree that somebody gave me. I'm not a huge fan of burlap so I usually don't buy burlap ribbons, but this was given to me and I was like, oh, this is a perfect time to use that. It's been in my stash for a while. And you don't really want to glue it to the metal frame just because it won't hold, but I just wrap the ribbon over and glue it to itself. And then I just start wrapping. And I'm just trying to be careful to make sure that everything is covered, that the entire cross is covered. I like the burlap for this because it does give it that wooden sort of look. And, you know, the cross is made of wood, so it worked for me. When I get to the center, I just kind of do like an X in the middle with it. I was trying to do straight up the top, and then I was like, okay, well, that's not going to work. It wasn't quite long enough. So I just went over and did one of the sides. And so I used the second roll and do the same thing. I just glue it to itself and not to the wire. I glue it to itself because the wire won't really hold the hot glue too well. And then I just wrap. When I get to the middle, I just kind of go like make a little X over that area there. And then I wrap it all the way up to the top. And glue it off in the back. Cut off the rest of it. So I have my cross base here. This is the main part of the wreath. And then I just use I use my aviator snips, which cut metal, because these are spring loaded and I did not want to break the pieces that I didn't want to break. So I just use these. These are very sharp. They will cut through metal. And I just cut off all the little wreath pieces there and just leave the words, "He is risen." I even cut off the little cross on the bottom because I didn't need the cross because it's going to be on a cross. So I didn't want to keep the cross on the bottom either. So it's just the words that I keep. And I do set those aside in case I can use those flowers or anything for anything else. I tend to be a hoarder with things like that because I'm always like, oh, I could use that for this, or I could use, you know, something. And I have this sheer purple ribbon. Like I said before, the purple is a sign of royalty. It is the color of royalty. And you'll often see like crosses at Easter draped with like a purple cloth. And so I just took this ribbon and I just drape it around. And it's wired ribbon, so I don't glue it down yet because I'm waiting till I have the other pieces. And then I'm seeing how it'll all fit together. And because I wanted the words on this to really stand out, I did do this one in black. I just used a black paint marker. Again, the Sharpie ones. And I just go over the lettering with that. Just like I did on the first one. Hopefully I didn't leave it all in on this one. And I believe I do the gold for the little banner in the middle. There's a little banner where between he is, where the word he is on, or is, sorry. He is risen, and is on like a little banner that connects all the letters together. So the little banner I did in gold, and the rest I did in black. And I did go around the edges on this because this wood cut out, when they cut it out, it's almost like blackened around the edges. And so I did go around the edges afterwards just because I did cut off the other pieces and you could really tell where I had cut it. Not because the front looked bad, but just because the side pieces, you could see where it wasn't black anymore on there. And I just go over the he is risen with the black, and I did leave it all in here. I apologize for that. But just wanted to point out, sorry, my train of thought, I lost it there for a second, that just because this was broken didn't mean that I couldn't use it. Look and see what you can find. I actually got this for, I think it was like less than 10 cents when I picked it up. And I was like, oh, I really love the he is risen, and I love the font. and I know I can use this. The other part was broken. It's okay. I went ahead and picked it up anyway because I knew I would be able to use it. And I did mention that I shop at the end of the season. I do that after Christmas. I do that. I even do that with my clothes. Because if you buy things at the end of the season, you're going to get better deals. You're going to get things on sale. I'm not saying every piece of clothes I buy that way, but I do like to shop clearance, and I do like to shop. He is risen. And then I have that little, it was a wood round from Dollar Tree. It's actually from the fall time. And I really wanted it to look like, on the third day when the sun rose, I really kind of wanted it to look like the sun. And so I painted it gold. I used the Arteza old gold metallic paint. And I just I believe I gave it 2 good coats of that. And I just painted the whole thing. I didn't worry about the back. I probably should have because I gave this to my mom. Sorry, Mom. I don't finish the backs of my projects all the time because it's not going to be seen. I put a hanger on the back of it. I just spread all that gold around, and it does kind of end up looking like, the rising sun behind the cross. And then it's just about putting it all together. So I start with gluing down the purple ribbon as I have it draped over. And that's it's like a sheer ribbon. So it was very easy to glue down. You just have to be careful because when you have this sheer stuff, you can burn yourself pretty easily with the hot glue. I know I do that quite often. I believe my dog is at the door. I will be right back, and you can just watch me glue that back together. Sorry, when my dog's at the door, she will just bark. I had these lilies, and these are from Dollar Tree. They are very pretty, and I just cut several off the stem. I believe I used 5 of them. Lilies are often associated with Easter, but to me, lilies are beautiful. The song, "The Lily of the Valley" is the Lily of the Valley, has always been one of my favorite hymns, and I always love lilies anyway. So I just bunch those together, and then I tie them up with I used the hanger that was on that wood round, and then I just wrap that around several times to get them secured. And then I use some more of that purple sheer ribbon. And I just tie that around. And then I make a little bow. Excuse me, I am so sorry. And I use some of this really thin purple ribbon to just tie the little bow together. But I wanted it to kind of look like a bouquet of flowers on the bottom of the cross here. And then I just attach my lilies to the bottom of the cross. And I believe I used some zip ties to secure that. I know I used hot glue, and I believe some zip ties to secure that little bouquet to the bottom used a little bit of this ribbon too, just to kind of tie it on. I have been trying very hard to remember to grab my little spatula or my finger protectors so that I don't burn myself with the hot glue anymore. I do burn myself sometimes and it hurts. If you've burned yourself with high temp hot glue, you know it hurts. So I just try very hard not to do that. After this is done, this is, I believe this is all I do to this one. Sorry, I did leave that in a little bit long where I'm just holding that together, letting the glue set up. And then I add more hot glue in between, behind the flowers, just to secure it even more. I did not use zip ties, I guess. I thought I did. I'm surprised. I usually want it extra secure, but nope, I did go back in with a zip tie. See right there? I was like, nope, this is not going to be good enough. And the zip tie is just kind of hidden there with the flowers, so I didn't have to worry about covering it up. And that is it for this project. It was actually pretty large. It's a pretty large cross. And I love how this turned out. It just represents so much and just the true meaning of Easter. And I really like how it turned out. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you will subscribe if you are not subscribed. And I hope that you will come back and watch a few more of the videos. I do lots of DIYs. I do some reviews for products too. My channel is all about being frugal and saving money in different ways. And I hope that you will join our little crafty club if you have not already. I will have another video coming out this coming week. But until then, I hope you have a blessed day. Bye.